Good morning. It's Devorah. It's InStory Live, and it's January 2nd. And I woke up this morning thinking about the question of what's your new story, and which kind of connects with kind of shining a light on the old stories. So I've been some of the things I've been listening to. I just listened to a man named Kyle Keyes being interviewed, and I've been thinking about this connection between your old story and how your old story sort of locks you into kind of a set of parameters that have walls on them, right? Like the old story bumps you up against that I can't do it, or it won't work, or I don't know how, or that kind of thing. Not ready, not enough time, not enough. It bumps you into that whole not enoughness, and so the work is that it's this whole thing with shining light, right? We're coming out of the holiday period, and I did a whole series on Hanukkah, and each night you light another light. And so the question is, by the end, when it was over, I said, okay, now you are the light. So if you're the light, where do you have to shine that light first? On yourself, right? You have to shine the light into your own dark corners, the old wounds, the old stories, those old pains that got you to hone yourself into a sort of a narrow band. A lot of times when people are ready to leave something, it's like they're in too narrow a band. Hi, Kathy. So nice to see you on my Facebook Live. So sometimes those old stories, they're constrictions. They're like holding you in to a boundary that was fine, and then after a little while you start to feel like I'm in too narrow a band, so to speak, that it's holding me in. So then what happens is, as you feel your light shining brighter, the old story freaks out, kind of like, no, we're all gonna die, kind of, you can't go there, you can't do that, because it's the old message. Hi, Natalie. And so this idea that I'm really moving, like, it's coming out of the Hanukkah messages that I brought through. I brought through these 8 nights, a message every single night, and it came out with, okay, how do you be a light? And this idea that your soul is your light. And then how do you shine that light out so that you're shining your light, right? But here's the thing. The first place we have to shine it is on the dark corners of our own stories, right? Nobody escapes that without, not having that. Like, we did the best we could. We're humans here to learn and grow, and so we bump into obstacles. Our parents had their obstacles, which they passed down with love often to us, and all the other ways people have been hurt and wounded. So if you go in and you feel that inner light that is you, and you shine it on the dark corners, you can illuminate those. You can light them up. And I have been, and I'll share more with this with those of you who are in my group, but I have been experimenting more with the feeling of, a lot of teachers will teach us. First, you feel the darkness. You feel the pain. You cry it out. You feel it in your body. And then you do different techniques, whatever you have learned, whatever's close to shift that so that it's not holding you so tight. So, hi, Caroline. So I've been experimenting with that. And so one of the works is this sense of feeling it in your body, whatever's hard, scary, overwhelming, tight, painful, sad, whatever all that is, feeling it. And then shifting to the awareness of your soul, which is kind of outside of that kind of compressed energy, and then feel that elevated being of light. A lot of times I say we are an elevated being of light also. And feel that, and then what happens if you feel all that light coming into that place of darkness? And I've had different experiences with doing this. I'm kind of experimenting with it right now. So, these things come to me and then I turn them into, if they work, I turn them into processes that I lead. And when you bring that light in, what I experienced was first, it's this kind of uncomfortable feeling as the dark shifts from the place of sort of rulership, so to speak. Hi, B. Like the dark is not in charge. If you bring that light in, the dark is dispelled, right? Like a little bit of light dispels a lot of darkness. So that dark starts to shift outwardly. And I had such an interesting insight a couple days ago when I was doing this work. So first it was bringing the light in, which pushes the darkness to the edges. And so that whatever the darkness hold, the old story, was still there, like almost like clothing of the light, but not like driving the bus, like not running the show. And then there was a further shift where it was like that dark energy transmuted and kind of condensed into like the engine that activates the light. I don't know, it's a cool, interesting idea I'm experimenting with. Love to hear your thoughts, and if you're in my InStory group like Kathy, we'll get a chance to go deeper into it. But wherever you are, however you're following me, whatever connection you have, this is a time to feel connected to your new story. It's the new year. What's your new story? And that new story is the one you see after you shine your light on the old story and let it shift so that there's room to let yourself lead with your light. How do you lead with your light? And that means you lead with your soul story. Yes, so you're following my drift here. And so this is the work, people. This is the work we're all doing, is how do we lead with our light, with your soul's light? What does that mean? How do you lead with your intuition, with your soul, with your light, rather than leading with fear? How often, just ask yourself this, how often does fear lead your life? Right? It leads your decisions, it leads your experiences, it leads your reactions. But that's okay. Because as soon as you see it, it doesn't have the same weight, right? As soon as you see your resistance, I always say resistance hates to be seen. So as soon as you see your fear, you see your resistance, you become able to, shine your light on it, and that takes its power away. It doesn't lead. It doesn't mean it's gone. It doesn't mean you don't feel it. You can still feel it. It's just that it's not leading, not driving the bus. That's a big difference. And so what if, it's like I sometimes do a work where you give fear a new job. And that was kind of this aha moment. I created this whole process because someone had asked me, what's your aha moment? Like I was going through answering some questions about each day. And I was like, well, I didn't have one that day. And I thought, I'm going to create my own aha moment. So that's another challenge for you. Can you create your own aha moment? So I did. And that was this whole process that came to me in that moment. And so I'm still kind of exploring this work. And this is a big part of my passion and my commitment, is how do we lead with our light, our soul, our intuition? How do we put that part of ourselves in the driver's seat and lead with your light, right? Not with our fear, not with our doubts, not with our worries, not with our unworthiness. How do we lead with our soul's light, with our intuition? I've been calling it intuitive leadership, and then after the whole Hanukkah thing, it was how do you lead with your light? So I'm thinking about that. And a part of the work is to help each other do that. You can't do it alone. We're not meant to do this alone. So I have I have a few ways you can get help with me. You can watch my videos. You can join my 6-week reveal course, or if you're really brave, you can join my year-long InStory group. And all of these things will help you so that you can turn around and help the next person. If you have a big vision, you're going to want to do my year group. If you are a little bit scared, you can join in Reveal, and then it's 6 weeks, starts January 21st, and then that can lead you into the InStory year. And you could just watch my videos. It's just that when we make that commitment, that we invest our money and our time and our commitment to lead with our light, it changes things a lot. It's huge. It's a very big deal. And I continue to have to stand in that. I just started working with someone new, and each time I step it up, I know I have to do that for the next person. And I think that's true for all of us. So I'm here to cheer you on. I'm going to keep nudging everybody and cheering you on to take a committed step forward, either with me, with someone else, in some way to bring your soul's light, your vision, your creativity, your mission, your soul story out in the world. I believe we're being called forward. So I'm here cheering you on. It's the second day of the new year. What's your new story? Can you live that new story? Can you lead with your light? What's calling you forward? I would love to know. You can always private message me if you want to connect. And have an amazing day. Let's start this year with so much light, with so much joy, shining that out in the world. And then, as I always say, remember to go out in the world, right? And share your story, live your purpose, and be a blessing. Bye, folks.